Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today live in our masterclass in our FemUnify Skill Exchange membership, which is a community and platform for online entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, where we exchange our skills and expertise and help each other out with building our online businesses. And one of the ways we love to do that is by bringing in different experts who are graciously sharing their expertise and advice and their tips to help us in different parts of growing our businesses. And I'm so excited for today's masterclass because we've never really covered this particular area and in this angle of course creation. And specifically for today's topic is really around tech mastery in course creation and how we can implement different tools for success. I know that so many of our members are either have courses or want to create a course or aspire to have some sort of a digital product that doesn't require trading their time in. And I think it's a fabulous model and it can really help us scale our reach and serve people better. But one of the things that really can get in the way is all of the complexity around the tech. And so we have today a special guest, Stephanie Marie from AKA Gabbie, who is a tech whisperer, strategist, and coach, and is just got lots of experience in business strategy and knows all the techie back-end stuff when it comes to courses. And so I'm so excited, Stephanie Marie, that you're here with us today to lead this wonderful masterclass and share some of your lessons on how we can create courses and figure out all of the scary tech. I hope you can help us demystify some of that today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And I am a geek. I really am. I'm a Gen X geek. So I started with the tech at an early age. And I love teaching, helping female entrepreneurs conquer the tech. It's what I do. In simplest terms, I simplify the text where you're not overwhelmed with it in all aspects of your business, whether it's brick and mortar, online, or a combination, and you're pivoting. So I'm excited to talk about courses today, and then I'll answer any questions that we have. So I will go ahead and share my screen.
Perfect. Yes. While you're just firing that up, thank you to the ladies that are live with us in the Zoom. Thank you to those that are following along the live stream. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to put your hand up, jump in, put it in the chat, put it in the comments on Facebook. We'll make sure that Stephanie gets to them. And otherwise, if you're watching the replay, thanks for catching us on the replay.
Okay, and I think I may, because these slides, I was traveling, so I made them in Canva, a great tech tool for y'all. I think I'm going to keep it in this mode only because it will take you off screen and throw you on my side camera, and I don't want to keep looking to the side. So if y'all are all right with that. So again, tech mastery and course creation, that's me. And I'm going to simplify this. Just a little bit about me. Again, I'm a strategist. I've been doing this for about 25 years. I have a lot of hands-on experience with all the different platforms. So there's probably a platform I have very few that I have not touched in all aspects of online business and traditional corporate business. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. This is kind of a time to action for you guys to share your experience, share your expertise. Courses are a great way for you to reach another audience that you may not have thought about reaching, but it allows you to share your expertise. I'm all about sharing is caring, and also growth in your business. We want to make money. We do. Let's just not, we won't sugarcoat that. We're all here to provide for our families, create our own version of success, and courses are a great way to do that. So there's a couple different things. I don't know if everyone has a course here, if you're thinking about a course, if you're scared to start it, and then what kind you're thinking about. Most people come to me and they're like, I have this great idea, but I don't know how I want to do it. And so you'll hear a lot of gurus talking about doing a live course, an evergreen course, a beta course, a recorded course. But what I love to start my female entrepreneurs with is to do a live course. And the reason I say go live is because you record it and then you can repurpose it. Okay. And I want you to think about that as we're thinking about the different platforms as we talk about and what tech you need to create what tech stack to get your course out to the world. Because once you have a live course and you've recorded it, then you can throw it in and you can edit, you can refine, you can replace bits and pieces of it. And then you can put it on Evergreen. You can put it on autopilot where you're making money 24/7. But then with a live course, you can also do several different betas where you are just testing the waters. Maybe you don't know what you want to do. So keep that in mind with the different courses as we go through this. The tech stack or the stack, the courses, the tech behind it can be as simple as 4 to 5 things. You have your platform for your course, and we'll go into that. Your email marketing. By law, you should be having an ESPN email service provider. We want to follow the rules because we don't want to get flagged. You do not want to get put on the naughty list when it comes to email marketing, sending messages to people, violating people's privacy. Believe it or not, I still have very successful entrepreneurs come to me and they have an at Yahoo is what they're using for their email. And that's a no-no. It really is from an FTC in the United States. Internationally, there's other regulations. So your email marketing is a big soapbox of mine. It can be as simple as an offer page and then payment processing. I always tell everybody, your idea, all you have to do is collect an email, provide them with your value, and get paid. That's the 3 priorities when creating a course or any digital product where you're getting paid for it. So if there's not any questions so far, we'll talk about platforms, and I will make it as simple as possible. Yes, we're good? Okay, so platforms. I am a huge advocate of self-hosted versus hosted. And for those of you that may not know what I'm meaning by that is a lot of the platforms out there are out of the box platforms, meaning they have the framework set up for you and you basically are plugging and playing, but you're paying a monthly fee and you're at their mercy. You're basically renting space. Self-hosted would be more in the lines of WordPress, MemberPress. MemberPress just came out with another add-on of Coach Kit, which is great for our coaches and wanting to have kind of a cohort environment for your course. But MemberPress is also an excellent self-hosted where you're only paying for the hosting like a website, which can be as low as $12 a month, depending on who you host with. And you pay for the framework or the theme one time. You may have a yearly fee of maybe $100, depending on what you pick when you go self-hosted, but it's much more affordable and attainable for small business owners than having to pay $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 as your members increase, you may have to pay more to maintain your platform. So I really promote, if you can, either pay someone if you're not techie to build your course out for you, and then you maintain it by adding on a self-hosted platform. But there are a lot of hosted platforms that are great. There's Gabbie, not my favorite, but ThinkTrip, like every time you turn around, there's a new one. Okay. And so if you're paying a monthly fee, you're paying for a hosted platform. So my advice to everybody is just pick one. Just pick one. It can be as simple as Circle is a great platform as well. And that's a community-based platform that has a course component to it. The user interface, you will want to think about your people and how they are with tech. If you pick a platform that has a lot of bells and whistles, and you're overwhelmed with it, your audience is probably overwhelmed with it. The nice thing about what's out there is there are out of the box versions, and I just tell people to pick one. Do I have favorites? Of course I have favorites, but it's because I'm a geek and it makes sense to me. I know how to use a PC and I know how to use Apple products, Mac. And so I can go across different platforms, but what works for me may not work for you. So that's why I encourage you to, when you're looking at any of them, just pick which one you are comfortable with and go with it. If you're wanting to keep the costs down, I will always recommend a self-hosted solution. I just will, because that monthly expense can build because you're paying for your platform, you're paying for your other hosting of maybe your website, you're paying for your ESP monthly. And so that's why I kind of throw out, would you like a self-hosted one? And then look at your platform to make sure that it offers a community. Okay. Your next piece of tech really is your email service provider.
Stephanie, can I just
Yeah.
pause for 1 second, if you don't mind, just to go back
Yeah.
for 1 sec on the topic of platforms. So I know you recommended the self-hosted approach,
Mhm.
which I think makes sense if people have maybe like a WordPress because it's a little bit more robust. But more and more, I'm seeing that people are kind of going the DIY route with their websites as well. So they might do like Squarespace or something along those lines. It's like a little bit easier to put together on your own. Do you know if like those are still good self-hosted platforms, or if it's not WordPress, then you just recommend going to a different platform?
I don't recommend, I have converted a lot of people from Squarespace. That's not necessarily a self-hosted version because you still have that monthly fee. Okay. Squarespace was not initially set up to cater to courses. The reason I recommend WordPress or MemberPress, which is the add-on for courses, is because it was built specifically for that. And for DIY people, it can be the best avenue, because if we're DIYing it, that also tells me that you're trying to keep it more affordable. And even though it might be a tech challenge, or you may want to leverage somebody to do it for you and then you maintain it, your WordPress is going to be your strongest platform because it is more affordable, but it also has more bells and whistles that you can add on. What is really interesting about I have subscription box people who will do Shopify, they will do Cratejoy, they will do Subly, and we've converted away from that and gone and added on WooCommerce, Woo subscriptions and things on the WordPress site because you have less SEO in those platforms, you have less control. So it brings me to something I bring up, and I forgot to bring it up here, is your owning and renting. When you're doing the more out of the box solutions, you're really renting your space and you don't have as much control as you would like. So if you go, oh, I would really like to add this font, and customer support will tell you, no, you can't. We don't support that font. You have to do that. Now with WordPress, you can bring in other fonts, but of course, Google Fonts is the best one for them, but you can bring in customizing like WordPress, MemberPress, CoachKit, BBPress, like those plugins. It allows you to be more creative, have more freedom, and own your space. And that's why I really think it's great for DIY people, because we know what we want and it's not necessarily out there in the marketplace. So you don't have to conform. And I'm a bit of a rebel. I think you've probably picked that up a little, Anna. So I not want to conform to them. What if we want X, Y, Z? And I feel that WordPress, MemberPress, or things that you don't have to know coding now for WordPress. A lot of the themes that you can purchase are plug and play. And there's a lot of really good, simple integration where it's simple. But I also have a couple people I work with that provide frameworks on WordPress where 80% of it is done for you. And it's kind of that bridge of being able to have the luxury of WordPress, MemberPress, but having a done for you without being hosted. And she's actually in Canada, the business that I use, and absolutely amazing. And she supports female entrepreneurs by providing us with those frameworks. And I highly recommend her with most of my clients when I'm converting them over. I have them purchase a framework from her. I'm not going to gatekeep. If any of you have heard of No Hassle website with Netta Talmore, she's absolutely amazing. And I use her products a lot for my clients. And if you are not techie, that is a perfect solution for you if you're not going to leverage someone to do it for you. And I highly recommend it for your platform. I just like the flexibility. I do. I really do.
Thank you.
And
And I know Stacy. So
yes, Stacy.
yes,
Yeah.
Stacy had a question. So go ahead, Stacy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't even know if my video's on at this point. Is it off or on? I'll turn it off. Okay. So I have a WordPress website. I have Aweber as my email service provider. I have Stripe as my payment system.
Perfect.
But I purchased Searchy. I haven't used it yet, which is Stu McLaren's.
Mhm.
Because I want to create a membership program as well as a, online digital courses. And my understanding is that one's pretty affordable, but I haven't used it yet. So the other things I've been using for many years, that one I haven't used yet. I don't know your thoughts on that one. I am not a techie person at all. And so my daughter does my tech and my WordPress updates to my website and stuff. So the thing I heard about Searchy is that it gives you a transcript right away, and it's sort of made for certain types of things. So I didn't know if you had ever utilized Searchy. I don't know how easy. I got a WordPress site like back in 2013 before it was as, I guess, easy, but none of it feels easy for me. So
Right, and easy is a relative term. So I always say Searchy is a great tool. Depending on how you're going to do your membership, it may or may not work for you. This is where I have people who have created $250,000 businesses with a membership on WordPress, but the way that we do it, we're using MemberPress. And just so you know, kind of the layout, it depends on when I say it depends on how you're going to do your course, I mean how you're going to deliver it. Because delivering a course can be as simple as videos that you have in a Google Drive folder where someone paid from a link that you sent them from Stripe, and you send them access to a folder. Courses can be that simple. So depending on how you want your layout, Searchy is a great option. It's a great tool. I have a few people who use it, but they're also considering moving everything over to MemberPress because they want to streamline it. And if I don't recall, does Searchy have a monthly recurring bill?
yeah, it does. It's like,
Yeah.
it's $50 a month. My daughter purchased Elementor. I guess I don't know if that's my theme or, again, confused by the
That's
whole
a theme. Yeah.
Yeah, so I pay for WordPress, I pay for Elementor. The problem with WordPress is if I have a tech question, if I don't pay $150 a month for their tech support, I can't speak to a live person. I don't know that Searchy has that either, but so yeah, is MemberPress just for membership sites, or is it also for online courses as well?
Courses and memberships. So what I would recommend for you, and I will drop it I can drop it in the chat here in a minute. I would recommend, this is why I will recommend it. No Hassle website. Netta has a MemberPress add-on part of one of the services she provides. One of the great things about when we buy from Netta is that the customer support is forever. It's for free. She has a Facebook community of a bunch of amazing women, and there's a few guys in there that we support one another, but her tech support is 5-star. And they either will answer the question, They will fix it for you sometimes, provide you with a Loom video on what they did, or you can get help in the Facebook community. Because you have a WordPress, you could go to her, purchase the MemberPress, they'll attach it to it. And MemberPress is for courses and memberships. And then she provides you with a how-to, detailed instructions on how to build your course and set up your MemberPress. So, and I believe right now for that, it's, I think the framework is 150, but then you have to buy the MemberPress, it's like 300, and then you just renew your MemberPress about 150 a year, and that's it. You're hosting, because you're hosting it. So now you've gotten off of that recurring monthly, much cheaper than a lot of the other platforms that are out there, because you're only paying that 150. If you were to buy MemberPress outside of Netta's team, you would be paying, I think it's 300 and something a year. We get or 750. It's a crazy price. It's crazy. We get it really cheap through Netta's group. And I can drop that in the chat before we go.
When you're paying $150 a month recurring, is that what you're paying?
No, it's not recurring for a month. It's for the year.
Right. For a year. Is that just what you're paying? Because I pay, I don't know the amount to just have my WordPress site each year and to update it. Is that what that fee is, or is that something affiliated with the person you just mentioned?
No, you're hosting. She does provide hosting. You're probably paying a monthly hosting fee for your website, whether it's $10 a month.
Host.
Yeah, so you're paying that hosting fee. You will have that regardless of what type of platform you have.
Mm-hmm.
She bundles, that would be, because your MemberPress is another, like a subdomain of your name, like mine is an AKA .Gabbie and Company. So that AKA is a subdomain where things are housed, but it's still attached there. So I technically have two sites, and I pay $15 a month for my hosting. And then my annual renewal is like 100 and something for my MemberPress.
Well, I think that's an advantage because my website is my name. And so any courses or anything I create, if it's housed in my website, I could use my name as part of whatever the name is, I'm assuming, versus having a bit.ly or something that's a tag that doesn't make as much sense. Is that the case?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people will put like academy dot whatever, or members dot your name, or coaching dot whatever you want to do. They'll ask you what you want to do. Yeah. So it's a great, it's something to look at if you haven't built your course yet, or even if you have, you can always move things over. But it's definitely something to look at to streamline what you have going on, and to not have that, those fees add up. You add ClickFunnels, you add, when you start adding all these things, it adds up just to maintain. And if you haven't sold a course yet, that can be scary. So it gives you that little wiggle room to do beta testing, live courses, live training, and see what is sticking, and where you should put your assets, because the platform is nothing more than a depository for what you're creating, for your assets, and you just want to make sure that people can access it, that the content is protected, and that you're getting paid for them to access it. And so you want to pick what is the easiest. Absolutely love that you're using Stripe, because they have been, knock on wood, the most tried and true right now with the least amount of problems.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm staying with all the systems I currently have that I am using, like Aweber. I'm like 12 years in. WordPress, I'm so many years in with certain things. I don't want to migrate out, even though I know that the costs are adding up. It's just the online courses and the membership. I've been using Facebook and Zoom and things like that. But as far as a platform versus self-hosted versus hosted, I'm paying for Searchy every month. I'm just not using it yet. So
right. So I I would just advise you, and I will never tell someone to pick a certain thing because it has to resonate with them. But I would encourage you to look at that and research it a little bit. The No Hassle website with the member press, and I'll send the link over. Research that before you get too much further, and then make an educated decision on it.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, so email. I'm sure you guys have talked about this. Email is your biggest asset. It's the most overlooked asset in your business. Please, 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 please build your email list. So have an Aweber, have a MailChimp, MailerLite, Klaviyo. I don't care what it is, whatever makes sense to you, but please do not send from your Gmail, your company name at Gmail, or you can use Gmail for your workspace with a branded email. But as far as marketing, you by law and regulations and communication rules, you have to be using a CRM or an ESP. And so I just encourage you to do that, but also because you're going to be marketing your course. Your email, you can set up workflows and automations to promote your course and to sell your course. And then stay in communication with the people who have signed up for your course. So I won't go too deep into the email. I'm sure all of you have it or you've thought about it. If you haven't started an ESP or a CRM, please just pick one, stick with it. A lot of them have free. MailChimp, I think Aweber does do a free one they used to, but I don't know anymore. Active Campaign, MailerLite, like a lot of them will let you have it for free until you have 1,000 people. But email is just the cost of doing business, and it's a must-have. And it will integrate with your course, typically by a plugin or an integration or an API. And they usually have very good instructions on how to connect it to your course. But it is leverage for you, and it's a way to promote your course. So you definitely need to have that piece of the tech, okay? Now this is where your offer page or your landing page, your funnel, this is where my age comes in. A funnel is no different than a web page, okay? A website. The only thing about a funnel is it's for a specific purpose. It's no different than a sales page. It is no different than a landing page. We use all these new words. I think a new word for affiliate marketing right now with no face on it is ghost marketing. I'm like, who comes up with these things, right? But a funnel is just a purpose. This page is just a sole purpose of selling your course. What value are you offering? What solution are you solving? And it is your communication marketing piece. It's basically a flyer of what you're doing. And you can create the same thing with a WordPress site because you can just, or any website or platform, by creating a page with no header at the top, because we don't want them to see the shiny object and go someplace else, because a funnel page keeps you funneled on what we're looking at right now, the offer. And so again, you can have self-hosted offer funnels, and the key components are what your value is, whether it's a video that you're doing that with, whether you're doing it with text, whether you're doing it with the hook, the comments, just set it up just like a ClickFunnels or landing pages. There's so many funnels out there that you can buy. Everyone wants a funnel. Everyone wants a funnel. It's a page that has a purpose. And if you program the buttons to connect to the right place with a link, you've created your landing page, your funnel. So you can do it self-hosted without paying the $99 a month or $150. I think ClickFunnels is a really popular one. They have a kind of an out-of-box solution, but realistically, if you know a little bit about building a web page, you could put your favorite funnel on one screen and duplicate those steps on a website page. You can do it in a Google Doc. And it's that simple. You have your hook, you have your blah, 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 and you have your call to action. And when they click that button, it has a link to pay for your amazing course. It really can be that simple. I hate when I hear people are spending $500 to $1,000 a month on the tools that they're struggling to implement, and they haven't even sold a course yet. It just breaks my heart because not all of us have that. I mean, I don't have 1,000 just to, I mean, some of us can just to like, oh, I might get there someday. I love data and numbers. And so the numbers don't make sense for me if it's like, what's my return on investment? It takes too long sometimes. So I look at it that way. So your offer page can be self-hosted. It can be hosted, which would be ClickFunnels, landing pages. Those are the most popular. Searchy, to a sense, is the same sort of thing. They offer Samcart. That's a big one. A lot of people want to do Samcart, and yeah, all the bells and whistles are there. But you can duplicate those same things. Within communities of like this, there's probably someone in your group who knows how to do it. Would you rather leverage them, maybe pay them to do it for you or teach you how to do it? And then you don't have that monthly recurring and you have it. And once you've done it once, then you're cookie cutter it and you just change what you're doing. So your offer pages really is just a funnel, a landing page, a web page with one sole purpose. So don't get caught up in, oh, I need a funnel. A funnel is just the language really of it is funneling your people to the call to action button. They see the hook. They see what you're offering, what solution you're providing, how you're going to solve it for them, why they should pick you, and then the call to action button. And that's just the funnel of the action you're wanting them to take. Your landing page, offer page, sales page can be as simple as a video at the top, buy now, and they click that link. And you can create that in Google Docs. Or you can do an out-of-box solution. And I want people to understand that they don't have to have all the SOS, the shiny objects, and suffer from shiny object syndrome. There are simple ways to achieve what you're looking to do without all of it. And I know that this one kind of, everyone gets hung up on the funnels. The nice thing about the funnels, of course, you are going to connect it to when you can create a funnel, it will talk to your email list. It will talk to all the things, but you can also replicate that same thing in a WordPress MemberPress environment. And so you have a self-hosted option. Most platforms are getting smart and realizing that funnels are a big deal. They're adding it as a resource within the platform that you are that you may purchase. So does anyone have any questions on landing pages, funnels, like a deep dive here? Because this tends to be one of the pieces that people get stuck on.
I do. I don't know if you can still hear me. Can you still? Oh, this is Stacy. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, so I have a Aweber, and apparently when I connected with Searchy, they said that Aweber and Searchy are not compatible in terms of the email and the migration, but Aweber apparently has sales pages, like very simple templates, and that's where my email is. But you just indicated that you can self-host it. Again, I have WordPress as well, but I'm just using that as a site right now. But my free gift is living on a page in WordPress right now.
Perfect.
That's where that is. But you said create a page with no header. What did you mean by that?
So a website traditionally has at the top where it'll say home, about me, contact me, services. Right. If you look at funnels at the top, there's nothing there. There might be grab this offer now, it expires in whatever, but there's no place for you to go other than the call to action.
How do you get someone, like, when you're like, if you're in Facebook and you're creating a link? Because
Mhm.
to me, the header, like, unless I'm not understanding, is partially like that link at the top, or how someone would like paste it in and find it. Like, if you have a header on a website, you click about me and you go there. And if you don't want it to be part of your main website, then that makes sense. You wouldn't create a header, and it would be a page that they can only access. But how are they accessing it then?
By the link that you provide them, because the page will have a link.
Oh, the page will have a link, but that's different than the header?
It will have a URL, because when you're
Okay.
looking at your page, you don't want them to do anything but buy your offer.
Okay, so maybe I'm misunderstanding the URL header versus, like, you're saying header as like about me or whatever, versus I'm thinking of it as the URL link. So it does have
Yeah.
a URL link, it just doesn't have a header.
It
But it,
doesn't have a menu. It will
it
not
does,
have a menu at the top,
okay,
because its sole purpose is to sell or upsell or downsell. That is it. That is the sole purpose of an offer, sales, or funnel page. It is to either get an email, sell a course, sell a product, whatever that is. It's a specific one action to do on that page. So you don't want a menu at the top, because we as humans get sidetracked very easily, and we will go squirrel because we saw contact me or about me. And so you will never have a menu at the top on a funnel or sales page. Now, Aweber, a lot of the email providers have templates for you for funnels and sales pages. I encourage you to use them, because it's a template. You're already paying for that service. You might as well just go ahead and use what they're providing you.
is there an advantage though? Will that have a URL that's connected to Aweber, or would like, I can't use Searchy, but would that have a URL that has maybe Aweber built into it? Whereas if I had it on WordPress, it could just be my domain name with a, / and then have the name of whatever the offer is.
Without looking at Aweber specifically and knowing how they're doing it, they could be adding a charge for you to have your branded subdomain or domain in the URL. I'm not certain, without looking at it, what they're going to require, because they change so much. That's why a lot of people don't teach tech. And I know that's the hardest part for everybody, is because everything changes so fast. So in theory, they probably will upsell you to have a branded email if you're wanting to be like outside of their space. But the integration with Aweber and WordPress, since it's there, you may want to consider having your daughter build, if there's a template inside of Aweber that you like, say, can you replicate this? And with Elementor, she could. I mean, if she is building your web pages for you, she could probably replicate the same look and feel. Like, you're like, oh, I like this look, I like this feel, I like how the messaging and how the blocks are set up. You can replicate that on a page inside of your WordPress, and that page just won't be something that's linked to any of your menus, but it still has a URL that's what you would share to get people to that page.
That's good information. I think after my daughter doing all the imaging in Canva for my free gift, she's sort of done with me for a while being my tech person. I think she needs a break from me. So I don't know if I'll suggest additional just yet, but I'll maybe in a little bit. But that's good to know that that's an option.
Yeah, it's a really good solution, and I will say simple solution. I won't say easy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not for me, at least.
No, it just depends on the people. So
Mhm.
yeah, what's easy for me may not be easy for someone else, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So do we have any other questions on offer page? How are we doing with time? I think we're good. Good. Okay, payment processors, Stripe, PayPal, payment options. A big thing right now, if you have a high ticket course, see if your provider, I recommend, this is where I do get a little picky. Stripe is my #1 go-to because it's kind to online marketing. And PayPal is a tried and true. Payment options are coming up a lot with PayPal is offering payment options. So if you have a high ticket offer and you want to be able look at your specific account and see if you're allowed to offer payment options financing for your customers, for your clients. And everything's going to have a processing fee regardless of which one you go to. So just check those out for your area. It's very specific. But then you also, I'm going to caution, I've had a few clients run into a problem lately. You're going to want to read the terms and conditions because not all payment processors will support the products that are being sold out there. When you hear about a digital marketer who has had their funds seized, it's because the product that they were selling was not in alignment with the payment processor's terms and conditions. When you're hearing about someone like not having access to their money, it's because their account is on hold because they have violated the terms and conditions of that payment processor. So it's something for you. I know we never read the fine print. When it comes to your money, please read the fine print. Okay. Pick whichever one makes sense to you, whether it is Square, whether it's Stripe, PayPal, checking account, whatever it is. Read the terms and conditions, read what they allow, what they don't allow, make sure you fully understand it, and just know that you're going to be paying a processing fee regardless of where you're at, because that's the cost of doing business. And that's really all I really say on the payment processing side. Hosted, self-hosted, they all integrate with all the different payment processors. So, I mean, that's a given.
Stephanie, do you find that the rates, the charge processing fee or whatever you call it, the rate that they charge you is comparable across?
Yeah, for most of them, it's about it is. Unfortunately, unfortunately not. I use QuickBooks for a lot of my bigger things for my retainer clients, because PayPal is slightly more, even though you get your money faster with PayPal. I use QuickBooks for stuff. I use Stripe for monthly recurring courses, trainings like that. And really the fees, they're relatively the same to PayPal. I have that as a backup option. I do recommend having 2 ways to get money. Whatever way you want to get money, have a backup plan. Have a backup plan. Just because if one goes down, you're never at a loss of how do I get paid. Getting paid is what we all want to do. So
Yeah.
you can make sure you have a backup plan.
I used to use PayPal, and I had a personal one and a business one, and then it got a little confusing sometimes with like which one I was accessing with like passwords, and like I had buttons on my website that changed, and then I tried to do reoccurring. So then I do have Stripe, and it's good to know that they have reoccurring because that's what I'll hook into the courses. For private clients, sometimes I use Venmo, and I'm curious, does Venmo have a business option or is it only personal?
I got kicked off of Venmo.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I had a client who sent me about $8,000, and I don't let my money sit there very quickly, so I moved it fast. And they were questioning what I was doing, and I provided an invoice, scope of work, all the things, and they booted me.
because it was a business transaction, but it was
I told them it was a business transaction. I thought I was even set up where I
Yeah.
told them I was business. They
Uh-huh.
didn't care. And with Venmo, you can't even like argue your case. So I was like, okay, fine. I just won't use you. So I use QuickBooks and PayPal if someone needs PayPal or
Okay.
Stripe, because I can send a one-off invoice inside of Stripe. But with Stripe, it takes a little bit to get your money, you know, like you don't pull it immediately. The luxury of PayPal is that as soon as it comes in, I can bring it over and they don't question it. So it just depends on how you operate with your funding. But that's why I also say have more than one way to, and more than one place where your money's at. Yeah, it can all funnel into one business bank account, but don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Okay. I mean, even like, though you've had a business account established, they still didn't like the big ticket amount that went over automatically. So they questioned it, and then that was
They
it.
booted me. It was funny because people were like, "What were you doing?" And I was like, "I built a website."
No, that's good. That's good to know. I mean, I wish I had an $8,000 transaction, but I hope to have that in the future. So I certainly don't want to lose my privileges on Venmo. So good to know.
Yeah, so I can't even do Venmo to pay friends. So I have to do Zelle. I have to do old school or Zelle
Okay.
or
Well,
whatever it's called.
yeah, because you would use it to pay friends, like you would want it at least for that.
Yeah, so that's why I do say just don't have just one payment processor. MemberPress works great with Stripe and PayPal. And what you can do with MemberPress when you're having at the checkout page, you actually have two options. They're offering like the Stripe and the PayPal option. So your client or your customer, they have the option to do PayPal or pay with the credit card, debit card, whatever. So people like to see that because a lot of people have PayPal. It's been around forever.
Yep.
They're comfortable with it. They just click the button and it goes. So it's nice to offer your potential customers, clients, two options as well.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And then, you know, just with courses, I made a lot of assumptions that you guys had already thought about your course, how you were going to deliver it. And this is really just the tech pieces that you need to put it together. Throw it out into the wild after you've created it or not created it. If you're going to just do it live and off the cuff, you're going to have a place to put it once you've done it. You're going to use email, you're going to use blog, you're going to use your podcast, you're going to use your social media to promote your course, to talk about your course. You have to talk about it. I like to have a runway no shorter than 2 weeks. Because you can't just show up in a space and all of a sudden say, hey, I got a course to sell and I'm amazing. People have to know, like, and trust you. Statistically speaking, from a marketing perspective, they have to see and hear about it 7 times before they're going to have any interest. I mean, that's just kind of it may be 5 now just because our attention span is, you know, very low, but people have to know, like, and trust you. So your email is your biggest asset. Send out an email to your people and say, hey, I've been working on something. I can't wait to share it with you. Then you send another email. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about what I'm going to share with you. And then, you know, have you struggled with, and create an email sequence. And then so when you say, hey, here it is, they're not surprised. Blogs are not dead, y'all. Blogs are long form content and they're for the long game. Now, if you're in this space just for a quick win, then a blog's not for you. But a blog is something that stays forever. Google absolutely loves blogs right now that are created by humans, not AI, because it's organic, authentic content. The algorithm changed about 18 months ago. It got in front of ChatGPT storm, where Google is rewarding organic content. Okay. They're getting even more passionate about it right now. And for those of you who like to write and have the craft of writing, blogs are great for affiliate marketing. They're great for showing up as an authority in a space. It's great for you getting picked up in all sorts of formats, but it's the long game. It takes a while for your blogs to get traffic. Of course, SEO comes into play, search engine optimization, but you can also promote your course, your training in a blog. When you can talk about providing solutions to people and it's not a salesy piece, it's an educational piece, and then it lives there for a very long time. And it has a link for them to go to your course. Blogs are the long game. They really are. They're not dead. Websites are not dead. Even though some people will tell you that they are, they're not. The reason some people don't like websites and blogs is because it takes a time, effort, and it is a long game. It is. So if you're truly in this space to make a difference, add value, and have a business for a while, then you do all the foundational pieces. Website, the email, number one asset. It is truly your number one asset. A blog, a podcast is another great way to be authority in the space and promote your courses. And then, of course, your social media. Pick your favorite platform, but then repurpose to all the others. Okay, I don't care if you don't like TikTok, you don't like Instagram, or you don't like whatever spaces you're in. You want to grab those names in those spaces, repurpose the content you're already creating. You've already created it once. It's very simple to repurpose it on the others, but promote your courses on your social media. You have to talk about your course. You have to talk about why you are the expert, how you can help the people, and why they would pick, you, and you have to do that on social media. It's just email and social media really are where you have to do it now, but your blogs and podcasts are a long game that can sit there for a while. And of course, video, YouTube. YouTube is probably number 3 on the list. If you're not building it, you should. If you're doing any kind of video, it's a long game. It'll take you anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to get it monetized, but it's worth it once you do. Once you get those 4,000 hours and you get enough followers, monetization of YouTube is amazing. Okay, the shortest time frame that it took me to get a client monetized on YouTube was 6 months, and it was a lot of dedicated work on my part. She is a content, no problem creating content, but getting that in there and consistently, and it has paid off finally. And that is it's a long game though. So YouTube there. I did tell you guys that it can be as low tech and simple as having email, having them pay you, and doing Google Docs. Honestly, it can be as easy as that. It can be easy as you send an email to your database that says, hey, I have a course. That course is sitting in a Google Drive. They pay you. You see that you got paid. You do a happy dance. You send them an email, whether it's automated or it's manual, doesn't matter. You send them that email, and they have access to the Google Drive that has your videos in it, has your Google Docs that have all your workbooks. Like, it can be truly that simple. A course can be that simple. I have some clients that will do the low-tech version. I call it our sloppy, messy, low-tech, embarrassing version when they have an idea and they want to see if it's going to stick with their group. They'll record the videos, or they will write the content. They'll throw it in a Google Drive. They'll send out an email to their database, because that is a warm audience. People know, like, and trust them. People pay for it. They send them an email with a link. That's it. I've had people make nice money doing it that simple. And my low-tech people that don't want to do any of the courses, they don't want to do any of that, but they understand the Google Drive, like that's their happy place, and they know how to send their emails out of their ESP, and they know how to receive money. Is it a little bit more hands-on? It is, but it can sometimes be really worth it. You can automate things that happen with that too. You can set up workflows. That's a little bit more complicated, and that is truly a tech step-by-step kind of discussion. But you can do a very low-tech version, which is Google Docs, y'all.
Stephanie, I have a question. So I've had a business for 26 years,
Uh-huh.
and I have had an email list of students and clients for quite a long time. And I started a couple Facebook groups, one during the pandemic called Create Your Best Life. And I post in it a quote or something every day since 2021. I've never sold them anything. And so the people on my email list and the people on my Facebook, they do know me, hopefully like me, and hopefully trust me. So if I'm creating a course called Create Your Best Morning, and it's going to be at a price point of about $197. If I was going to, and I have it created in my head, now I just have to create it in some type of, platform or wherever I create it and sell it. What do you think is the amount of launch time that I need to sell a $200 course to people that already know, like, and trust me?
Okay, they know, like, and trust you, but they've never bought from you.
Many of them have.
Oh, okay.
Because my email list is close to 1,000 people of prior students and clients.
Okay.
My Facebook groups are either friends that probably wouldn't buy from me or people that are prior clients or students.
Okay. I always tell my clients, it's not our business to decide if they'll buy from us or not. Okay.
Oh, I mean, just as a therapist,
Right.
I wouldn't want my friend to be, I don't know. I want to keep like lines clean there.
Yeah. So what is, just out of curiosity, what's so that the price point people would be comfortable with it? I would start talking about it because they already know, like, and trust you. I would take it from, I tend to take I don't know, some people call it passive aggressive, but it's not. It's more of a, hey, I'm working on something, and work up to it. I would say a week or two. I would give it just a week or so. They already know you, like you, and trust you. They're in your community. I wouldn't just go, hey, surprise, this is what I have. But I would say, hey, I'm working on a course. I'm working, popular demand. People have asked me for XYZ. I'm really excited to be sharing this. And just create your sequence and start talking about it, and then talk about aspects of it, so you're indirectly talking about the course, so that you're teasing them. You're going to want to do the hooks, but you could probably do it in as little as a week, 7 days, 14 days, and it would be fine. I'm not a fan of big, long, drawn out launches. I'm not. Some people will tell you should take months. No, we're impatient. If you tell me you got something special, I want to see it now. That's just me. Or I want to see it this week, or here pretty soon. Or you tell me I've got something I'm going to share with you on, May 1st. I can't wait for May 1st and you tell them a date that you're leading up to.
That's a good idea.
And then they're like, oh, she's going to tell us a secret on May 1st.
I hope they're not disappointed with the secret.
No, because it's like, we want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. But just let them know it's coming. And if you've sold to them before, they're just like, oh, I wonder what she's coming up with. If you've done long runways before, then maybe that's what they would expect from you. I'm just not a big fan of them. As long as you have the content and you're promoting and talking about what you're going to do consistently, a short runway can work just fine.
So you don't feel that you have to create like a free masterclass before you create I already have a free gift, and I can pop one and do like a quick little
a good live. You could do a good live. I would do a live. Lives are always going to be a huge proponent of growth. Lives are a sweet honeypot. They really are. People love a live, and then you have that live recorded, and you can repurpose it. You can chop it up if you need to, and use that. Before I launched my VIP group, I did lives for like a month. but it's because I never had a group, because I do a lot of one-on-one and VIP services. So I felt like I just needed to get out there, because I'm kind of the best kept secret, is the big joke in the community, because I don't function in the community environment, or hadn't been. So I was like, okay, everyone knows me as doing VIP one-on-one done for you services, or specific laser training for people who are doing DIY. And so that's a transition for me, to be in a community. And how do you support a community when there's so many different tech pieces, but the foundations are the same? And so I did, for about a month, I was doing lives a couple times a week, just to see what was going on and if I was spot on, which I was, but those clients turned into VIP clients instead of community clients, because most people don't want to do the tech. They just don't want to do it. And it's not their genius zone. And so they're like, I don't want to do it. I want someone else to do it for me.
Yeah. Were you doing Zoom combined with live, or were you just
I was doing Zooms, and then I was doing TikTok live. I have a decent following on TikTok. I do a lot of guests on TikTok lives
okay?
for
By the
business.
way,
It's a
I
weird place to be. It's not my favorite place to be at all. But one of my clients actually had me on her community, because a lot of business owners are in her space. She's in the advocacy space, and she has 500,000 people following her. So she's like, we need to get you in front of my audience. And we do office hours, and I answer any questions that might come up. And I've started doing more lives like that, just office hours of 30 minutes. I'll just jump on, and I'll have my messy bun, and I just show up as me, and I will answer any tech questions that I get during that time. So
That's wonderful. And by the way, as a Gen Xer, I appreciate your name, the Tech Whisperer, because I remember the Baby Whisperer back in the day with my daughter. And I'm like, I know that term. That's really clever.
Well, and it's funny that people call me that, because they're like, you just conquer the gremlins. And I go, well, I mean, I've been playing in this in a long time. So, they call me Tech Slayer, Gremlin Slayer. And I like that one, because I like the sword concept of that, But it's just, I speak geek, but I speak human geek, and where I can simplify it for anybody to be able to understand it is my purpose. Let's see, I think I have basically a roadmap to your course. I assumed that you already had your course idea, a solution to the problem. Create your content, whether it's Zoom, Loom, Canva. It doesn't matter, y'all. Like, it really, really doesn't. And people are always saying, but Stephanie, no, just pick one. Just pick one and go forward with it. Your platform, rent it or own it. Just look, if you're comfortable paying the hosting fees, then go with that one. If that one is the one that resonates with you, go with it. If you want something that you have more control over, more flexibility, more, you go with one that is self-hosted. Upload the content or go live. I recommend doing it live the first time, because you might want to change it. Or if it didn't stick, you didn't spend all that time recording something that nobody wants. Because we think they want it. We think it's amazing. We think that idea is fabulous, but our people may not want it. So live is a great way of not spending your time on it, which is your most valuable resource besides your email list. Time freedom. Time is like, that's why I do what I do, is because I like to have my time. So I recommend live. So you do your live, you have it recorded, and then you have your email integration, and then you're sharing your course. A nice way to do a live, you could do it as a beta, and then you're emailing and promoting. And so it's really a simple roadmap, y'all. It's so simple. And like I said, you could do it with Google Docs. You can create a course with Google Docs. It's really that simple. Questions and action. I never like to say questions and answer, because I want you guys to take action. You can get the answers and then sit on it. and never do anything. And then we come back and revisit this a year later. It's a questions in action. When I answer a question, I usually tell you what that action is to take to move forward so that you can create your version of success. So, my big thing, your version of success looks different than my version of success. So be you, your people will find you, and be MIA, mindful, intentional, and authentic. And that's me. And I know we're a little bit over. You guys want to get a hold of me? Let me drop in the chat. I'm going to stop share if that's okay. In the chat, I will put Netta.
I can do that if you want. Did you want me to just drop in the links you had shared with me to the?
Yeah, and
Is
then
that it?
if you guys want to send me an email and say, hey, can you send me some links to some resources? I'm more than happy to do that. Answer any questions that you might come up with. Please tell your group, send me a message. If you send me a message on social media, I will confess right now, it is slow for me to respond. Ask Anna. That's not where I hang out. Send it to my inbox, Stephanie at Gabbie and Company, or Stephanie Marie, whichever one I gave you, Anna. And that's where I am. I'm in my email. I'm old school, Gen X, we like our email. But I'm not a fan of a direct message and messaging, and I'm just not a fan of it. But I will respond, but it'll be 24 to 48 hours probably. There. Email is the best way to get a hold of me. And yeah, I appreciate the opportunity and thank you so very much. Are there any other questions? And hopefully you learned something. I hope that's what you wanted, Anna.
Yes, absolutely. No, this was super, super valuable. And what a special perk to kind of join live and be able to kind of have a lot of those direct questions to be able to ask you and get your advice. So I'm so grateful that you obviously have a ton of knowledge and a wealth of information. And thank you so much for joining us today to share that with us, and for your generosity also in, offering access to you and in your inbox, and the free 15-minute follow-up call that I really hope people take you up on it as they are looking to launch their courses.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you to the ladies who joined live and asked your questions. I'm so grateful that you were able to get some great value out of this one. It was very hands-on, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.